Letshuoer is a brand that you probably know for their S12 planar IEMs, their Cadenza 4, maybe even their Cadenza 12. But what if I told you that they have finally come up with a banger of an IEM that even I thought wasn't worthy of the approved by Clinical tag? This is the Letshuoer Mystic 8, an IEM that costs a cool $989 and sports 8 balanced amateur drivers. That is a lot of money for an IEM, especially coming from a brand like Letshuoer. So at this point, let's answer the question of why exactly is it Clinical approved. Let's jump right into it. First, let's talk about the non-audio stuff. In terms of accessories, I would say the Mystic 8 is fairly run-of-the-mill. You have your tips, which comes in 3 different styles: narrow bore, standard bore, as well as wide bore, and all 3 of them comes in 3 different sizes: S, M, and L. Next, you have your carrying case, which is made out of metal, but instead of it being screw-on, you have this kind of silicone rubbery cap instead. The most interesting though is that you get this, which is a necklace ring thing. It's fashion, so I don't understand. Next, let's look at the build of the IEM itself, which is probably one of the main reasons why you would be buying a Mystic 8 in the first place. Yes, the shell uses a CNC titanium alloy material as well as a 2-tone finish on the faceplate. Yes, it is a very well built, very premium feeling IEM, and for those of you who have handled a Cadenza 12 before, you'll realize that this is actually kind of in line with what Letshuoer had already done. The shell itself, while it's metal, it's also very well designed. It is very contoured and very easily matches up to the shape of my ear. The cable though, I think is probably the weakest point of the Mystic 8. I don't like this kind of rubbery sheath material, and the fact that it only comes in a 4.4 termination without interchangeable connections is quite frankly atrocious for the price. So in terms of the unboxing and the accessories, I think it's just fine. In terms of the build of the IEM itself, I think it's great, magnificent, spectacular, though at this point all of you probably be asking, but how does it sound? And of course, it's Clinical approved, so let me elaborate. First of all, Letshuoer has put a lot of marketing and emphasis on its new low-pass filtering system. What that means is that on the Mystic 8, what you're gonna get is a very low and very controlled sub-bass shelf. So the bass is very tight, very controlled, but on the flip side, some of you mid-bass monsters might feel that it's a bit too thin and lacking in that punch and or thump. And then we go into the mid-range, which does remind me of the Cadenza 4. That is to say, a very good, very well-tuned kind of mid-range, very natural and doesn't sound out of place. And all of this also extends up into the treble. Yes, it's a little bit sparkly, but it's not to the point where I'll consider the Mystic 8 to be sibilant or even fatiguing. All in all, I would say that the Mystic 8 kind of gives me supercharged Hexa kind of vibes. It's not as natural sounding as the Hexa, but definitely in terms of the resolution and the detail retrieval, it is a league ahead. But there are a couple of small nitpicks with the Mystic 8 that I would like to address. For example, with the lack of pneumatic pressure relief, which means that when you put it into your ears, it does feel like there is a pressure buildup inside your canal. Most likely this is due to a lack of front venting, which is common in many all BA sets, but that is something to take note of. There does seem to be a vent on the Mystic 8's shell, but I suspect that it is simply a back vent rather than a front vent, so there's no actual pressure relief mechanism inside the Mystic 8. But regardless, the Mystic 8 is an excellent neutral monitor. It has just enough treble to be a little bit sparkly. The bass is pretty much in line with what I would consider to be flat, and if you have established that this is the kind of sound signature that you like, then the Mystic 8 will not disappoint. Now let's talk about the shoulds and the shouldn'ts, why you should consider getting a Mystic 8 and why you shouldn't. You should when you're looking for a much more premium feeling kind of IEM that also comes in a neutral monitor style signature. The Mystic 8 comes in with a very well balanced profile. Neither the bass, mids, nor treble seem to be overly pushed nor overly recessed. Even till today, many IEMs around this price bracket don't even come with a titanium shelf. So for those of you who want that specific specific material, this is your IEM to flex. And lastly, just like they have advertised, if you're looking for the extremely low bass shelf that basically has zero mid bass. And why you shouldn't consider the Mystic 8? Well, for one thing, it only comes in a 4.4 balance SKU, so if you're someone who somehow still uses single-ended in this price bracket, well, again, your SOL. The cable itself is, well, I'm not the biggest fan of it anyway, someone else might be, but personally I don't like it. The lack of pressure relief may be an issue for some people, but again, this is also something that is common in many BA sets nowadays. And lastly, if you're looking for an IEM that's anything but a neutral balanced sound, it doesn't have mid bass, it doesn't have emphasized bass in general, it doesn't have emphasized treble, it is just flat. And that is our showcase for the Mystic 8, Letshuoer's newest kilobuck addition to their lineup. And as per usual, you don't have to take my word for it, you can always try it out for yourself at the Hangout. We're located at 200 South Bridge Road in Chinatown. Come on down, grab a cup of coffee or even a cup of ice cream, and then ask for the Mystic 8. Try it out for yourself and then form your own opinions. And for those of you who are not privileged enough to be in Singapore, well, can always come on down to Hangout.audio, our online retail store. We ship globally and for free, though with current circumstances, things may change, but we'll see. This is Chronicle for Hangout.audio, and remember kids, if it's not on the list, it doesn't exist. See you next week.